I think for the pharmacy, their value really lies and that exactly that win-win scenario. But I've I feel like the pharmacists have been somewhat like in a silo. They're doing these amazing things and not communicating that or passing that with the other members of the equation. So, how do you increase that communication? How do you get that buy-in from a physician where it's like, hey, you're trying to reach these goals, you're getting pinged on this. That's exactly what I can help with. How do you start that collaboration?
Yeah, so this was really, what we were going to focus on for this, converting these free consultations into clients, whether your potential client is a patient who may be interested in your functional medicine program, or a physician, a local physician that you want to go talk to about a collaborative, remote patient monitoring program. But getting comfortable with selling, and just by knowing a few of the frameworks that we talk about for selling, can really help you to not necessarily persuade, but just to help other people get what they want. And you can also, be able to grow your revenue and grow your clinical services and really generate demand for pharmacist-led services in this way, just by knowing how to talk to people about their needs. So there's 4 A's that we teach in the Pharmapreneur Academy, which is, you start with asking. You just ask, what are you struggling with? What kind of results are you looking to get? If you're talking with a patient, what are your health goals? If you're talking with a physician, what quality metrics are you reporting on this year? Just trying to figure out their pain points. And then, assessing, is there a way I can maybe help this person, before agreeing upon what the service could actually look like, what that program would actually look like, and then finally accepting and making an offer for that arrangement. So I think most of the time we think selling, because it's such a subtle art, we think selling is going in and handing someone a flyer and waiting for them to call us back, or like doing your pitch and expecting to get, your phone blowing up. And it's really more about relationship building and creating a customized program for the clients you're working with, so that they can feel like their needs are priority number one.
So do you have like a any tips for like preparing that conversation? So, if I have a fantastic pharmacy software in my pharmacy that allows me to run, great reports, is that something that you would do ahead of time, is maybe look at that prescriber in your system, see what kind of medication, see what kind of are there trends with therapeutic classes or disease states that you could really kind of bring those tailored solutions on step one, or do you kind of put that later in line?
Yeah, so that might be like a great just icebreaker kind of question for that physician, to call them and say, "Hey, I've got this fantastic pharmacy software. I can run a report on pretty much anything that you could possibly want. What are some challenges that you guys are dealing with?" It may not be with managing diabetic patients. Maybe it's it's with COPD patients, and you can really isolate and run reports for people who would be a good fit. So, you can imagine if you could run a report that shows a physician what patients they have, what medications they're on, that they're outside of goal, but then you could offer that physician a collaborative opportunity to where your pharmacy is helping them manage this patient's care, get get their COPD or diabetes or whatever it is under control, and they can get paid additionally for this service. That's what chronic care management is. And it's a 20-minute non-face-to-face clinical service once a month. You get reimbursed. I think average national reimbursement is around $42. It has to be billed through the physician's MPI, and it has to be consented by the patient. So they have to sign consent that they're interested in this service. But when you think about it, if you have a MedSync program, you probably already are calling these people and spending 20 minutes a month working on their medicines. So to me, that it's just a win-win situation that, hey, pharmacists are already doing this, and then you get a collaborative provider on board and you can get this patient the outcomes that they're interested in, by asking what their quality metrics are. You create a plan, a customized calendar that your pharmacy, even technicians can be involved in this, calling the patient, just getting set up for prior authorizations and refills. All of that counts as dedicated clinical staff time. And being able to capture that time and record it and document it in an e-care plan, you just do that, send that e-care plan packet to the provider's office. They put it in their chart, sign off on it. That goes to billing. And then, they get reimbursed for something that essentially they didn't even really have to have a hand in, just
Right.
overseeing the program. So CMS, they call this general supervision. So it means a subcontracted pharmacist, clinical pharmacist, or really subcontracted clinical staff member, could be anyone. But pharmacists obviously are my choice for this type of program, to be able to capture the time that they're spending working on that patient's care, and to be able to get reimbursed for it. It's a huge opportunity for pharmacists. And then you throw in the remote physiologic monitoring, where we can look at blood glucose digitally uploaded in real time. We can look at digital weight. I mean, you can monitor people's, if they've got more than 2+ weight gain each day, you get an alert. You see that in your software. I mean, there's so many opportunities for pharmacists to really get creative and start thinking out of the box about like what you could do with a collaborative physician.
Okay, so I hope I didn't roll too many of the other A's into that answer, because you said there were 4 A's, and I think we made it through 1. So what's the next A?
No. That was, so ask would be number 1, and then assess would be number 2, and then agree would be number 3, and then accept would be number 4. So we did kind of do all
good.
of them. Asking about their pain points, assessing how you could potentially work with them, agreeing on something that would be mutually beneficial to you both and to your patients, and then finally accepting and putting together a legal document that solidifies the partnership and makes sure there's no gray areas in whose scope of practice ends where, and what a pharmacist can legally do in that situation.
Thanks for listening to this clip from Beyond the Scripts, presented by the Catalyst Pharmacy Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please support our channel by liking, subscribing, and clicking the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime we post new content. To stay up to date with all of the latest independent pharmacy news and content, follow PioneerRx on your preferred social media platform.